Hello guys, this is Mr. Kareem and today we have a very simple grammar lesson about the difference between semicolons and colons. So please prepare your grammar box, page 277 and let's start. So now we have to talk about the semicolon and the job of it for using in English writing. The semicolons join sentences or sentence parts. So the first job for the semicolon is to join two independent clauses when you do not use a coordinating conjunction. For example, John went to the store, he bought some candy. So here we added a semicolon. Why? Just to link or to gather the two independent clauses together. And instead of writing the comma and the conjunction, we just replace it by a semicolon. So this is the first usage of the semicolon in English. Okay, what about the second one? Actually, the semicolon can join items in a series if one item already has comma. Let's take an example. We visited Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore in the spring, Germany, France, and Italy in the summer. So if you notice here that we have some items in a series like Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore, and they already have commas between them, but we need to link or together the second part of the sentence using the semicolon, which is Germany, France, and Italy in the summer. So here we are just differentiating between what happened in the spring or which countries that we visited in the spring and which countries that we visited in the summer. Okay. Number three, the third usage, before a conjunctive adverb that joins two independent clauses. So we have to use the comma after the adverb. Let's see the example. The office was closed, consequently I couldn't pay my bill. So as you can see here, the semicolon came before the conjunctive adverb and we added a comma after the adverb. So this is the usage of the semicolon just to join the two independent clauses. The first one is the office was closed, and the second one, consequently, I couldn't pay my bill. Okay, guys, so these are the three usages of the semicolon in English. Actually, we will use this one especially in the English writing. Okay, now let's go to the colon. A colon signals that something follows. Again, a colon signals that something follows. So we have to use the colon when we have something follows each other. So for example, number one, before a list of items at the end of a sentence, for example, I will buy, and sure, the colon must be written here, a jacket, a hat, and pants. So I'm just listing what I'm going to buy, a jacket, a hat, and pants. So the colon will be before them. Number two, when you introduce a long or formal quotation. As you know, the meaning of a quotation is a speech said by someone. So the example, she said, colon, do not pass notes in the class. Again, she said, don't pass notes in the class. So here the colon came before the speech or the sentence said by the speaker. So don't forget when you say any speech, for example, or any quotation, you have to add a colon before it. Number three, or the third usage, it will come between the hour and minutes, titles and subtitle after greeting of a letter. Some examples. 10:42 a.m. So here the column between the hour and the minutes. Smoking, the facts. Here the column before the title. Okay, and the subtitle. Dear store manager, here the column after the greeting of a letter. So guys, here we are using the column in the right place. Okay, we cannot change the place, for example, to put it after the minutes or here to put it after the subtitle. No, it must be like that. Okay, remember that, especially in your writing, formal writing like essays or paragraphs and so on. Now let's watch a video about this lesson.
This is a semicolon. While it's probably familiar to you, its use might be a little confusing. It's kind of a punctuation hybrid, half comma, half period thing. Think of it as the centaur of the grammar world. Its hybrid nature makes it stronger than a comma, but not as final as a period. But what exactly does it do? Should we even trust it? Well, it has a number of uses. First off, it's one of the ways to connect two independent clauses. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are so many ways to connect two independent clauses. But let's look at these two. My roommate doesn't like ice cream. My favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. If you want to join these two sentences, also known as independent clauses, you can add comparison through a subordinate clause. Although my roommate doesn't like ice cream, my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. Or by using a comma paired with a coordinating conjunction. My roommate doesn't like ice cream, but my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. But if you use a semicolon, the connection is more ambiguous. Instead of making a comparison, the writer is using a semicolon, the mystery connector. The writer is giving the power to the reader to decide how the two are related, and with great power comes great responsibility. Another great way to use a semicolon is to separate items on lists when those items contain internal punctuation, such as commas, as in this example. I have lived in Chicago, Illinois, Miami, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana, and College Station, Texas. Moving is the worst. With all these commas, it's hard to tell what goes together and what is separate. So we use semicolons. Here, semicolons are more like super commas that provide even more separation than a regular comma. These super commas can also be used in lists that contain long phrases or complete sentences, such as, I decided to go to Texas A&M for 3 reasons. First, I love the Aggie traditions. Second, I wanted to learn about leadership. And third, I got a great scholarship. As you can see, semicolons can handle a lot. Now these bulky guys handle things differently from colons, so don't get them confused. Colons are more like butlers at fancy dinner parties in that they announce and introduce things in fancy accents. The colon can be used to introduce a quote such as, in Remains of the Day, the butler, Stevens, admires his workplace in this line. The English landscape at its finest possesses a quality that the landscapes of other nations inevitably fail to possess. These guys can also introduce a list. She told me to visit 3 places, Paris, Rome, and Prague. Like butlers, colons are handy to have around for all sorts of grammatical housekeeping. With time, for example, the colon is used to separate hours from minutes. Or, colons can be used to separate the volume from the page numbers in cited works. So keep these things in mind when using a colon or a semicolon, since they're both connectors in their own way. But if you have any questions, you can always visit.
Okay guys, so as we watched the video, I think it's very clear. So please, I want you to revise this lesson again. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. And also I'm gonna wait for your homework, page 278 in your box. And inshallah, see you next time.